showing off my metallic Dan Carter hoodie.
I have to comment while we were getting ready here just before we went live. That DC Racing, the back of it is like a beautiful copper.
It's legit.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
I would turn around and show you, but that'd be a lot of messing around.
Absolutely.
So I'll probably fall off the back of the...
Well, let me be the first to welcome you to
yes,
our
welcome.
second day of racing here at the Central Rock Racing Series, race number 1, presented by PRP Seats. Excuse me, this is the VisoneRV Central CRRS race number 1, presented by PRP Seats. Today we have 2 really exciting classes. We have the UTV Bounty class, and we have the Brannick Motorsports Bouncer Cup. We're really excited to welcome Brannick Motorsports on as the main sponsor for our Bouncer Cup series. So happy to have Brannick on. If you're not familiar, Brannick makes a lot of hard parts for Ultra 4, rock bouncers, UTVs. They do some sway bars and things like that. So any kind of aluminum, especially that 7079, that really light, super strong stuff. I know that TC Racing uses the aluminum trailing arms. A lot of guys, Anthony Yant and his buggy uses their sway bars. Brannick Motorsports is deep into the off-road world, so we're glad to have those guys on board. But first and foremost, how are you this morning, Bree?
I'm great. We have not gotten rained on yet.
We're getting sprinkled on.
I got my awesome hoodie. I got my grapes.
Snacks,
I'm good.
Drinks, ready to go. So it is a wonderful day here, and
I see you have your 5-pound bag of apples hanging up in the trailer.
So I do, just to make sure that everybody is nutritiously energized as we have this awesome day of racing. Like I said at Wildcat, I'm a fan of obscure weather conditions. You know, we're guaranteed to get some days that are going to be hot, dusty.
You came to the right place then.
Yeah. So I'm excited when our spring days, they're filled with a little bit of rain. They're going to make that race course just a little bit more wet, a little bit more exciting. So if there's any place that gets more exciting when it's wet, it's probably this one, because the way that this course here at Bikini Bottoms Off-Road Park in Dyersburg, Tennessee is set up, it is basically a stadium, right? They have carved out this hill with huge man-made obstacles with a huge incline, and there's a really nice spectator area, but they have also carved out the bottom bowl, so water sits. And it's not like soupy like we thought it was going to be yesterday.
Yeah.
It's nice and tacky.
There's a sticky layer, but it's definitely still slick on top.
Definitely.
We had some entertainment of an SUV trying to come down that trail.
Yeah.
And I think it was Tripp and a Jeep over there. All kinds of sliding around is happening out here. So we parked at the bottom of the hill today.
Yes.
And hoofed it up here.
Yeah. 2-wheel drive trucks, ball tires, not the day to bring those up on the hill today. But I will say too, I think just my initial projections for today's race, the UTV Bounty class, it's really going to be a bounty today. I know for a fact that they're going to be running up Fable Hill for Hill 1 and Hill 2. If you're looking at us and you're looking at Fable Hill just behind us, just to your left, there is a extremely long dirt climb there. That will be the hill, the focal point of the Bounty Hill in hill number 2. Excuse me, our radio is very loud. But Fable Hill for hill number 1 in the UTV Bounty series, and then just to the left, that big dirt climb for hill number 2. It's going to be quite the day.
Yeah, if you guys were watching yesterday, it was hot. And dry and weirdly, sunny.
Weirdly muddy in some spots.
Yeah, and then this storm came in. There was hail last night, which I was not expecting, but I mean, it is, spring in Tennessee. So
I was in Walmart last night getting some snacks for, today's race.
Very
last
necessary.
night in the hotel room. And the entire power in Walmart went out for, a fraction, a couple seconds there. And I'll say this.
Did the shelves start emptying out?
Walmart's not the place you want to be when the power goes out. So very quickly we got our stuff got out. And,
turns into like zombie apocalypse quick in there, I bet.
People started screaming unnecessarily. It was an interesting situation. But I actually got back to the hotel and talked to him. The entire town fractionally lost power for a few moments. So,
yes.
Very interesting stuff. Happy to be here, though. We're getting a little bit of sprinkles, so it's likely that the top layer is going to stay pretty wet
Bobby
today.
Tanner looks like he's doing well over here. You got anything you want to say to everybody?
Yeah, come on around here.
I got to go back over there.
Oh, okay. He's got to go back and race.
He doesn't have time.
That's not that important.
You know it's UTV first, right?
That's right. So, like I said, my initial projections, UTV is probably going to be a little bit of a show today. It'll definitely be who's actually going to make it out of the top. But I'll say this for bouncers. Yep.
Need the mark on the line, guys.
for the bouncers, it's going to be a show of not only who can make it, but there's going to be a handful of guys that are going to make it, and they're going to do it very quickly. It's going to be a great show for the bouncers.
You know, Cash LaCroix was bemoaning the fact that he was first in the bouncers, and then will be first on Hill 2 for UTV, I believe. But on a day like today, Brandon made a good point. We were standing around the driver's meeting. Fable Hill, muddy, lots of tires on there. Probably being one of the first ones to go today is not going to be a bad thing.
Yeah. So I'll say this: one of my favorite drivers, one of my favorite chassis. Obviously, I've talked. Oh, that needs to be on there. One of my favorite chassis. I mentioned yesterday that chassis actually glows in the dark. He's running some super deep tread tires, so I think that's going to be the key to today. I've seen guys running, super deep mud tires for today, paddle tires even. Ethan Martin making sure that steering
wheel's not going anywhere.
We are off here and racing on day number 2 for the UTV Bounty Series at Bikini Bottoms Off-Road Park. Ethan Martin.
Matt, that is an excellent question. I have no idea the status of DC is what he's doing today. Anybody's guess. Oh, and Ethan, of course, on the legendary Fable Hill now. Which on a day like today, when there's so much water and mud, it really does truly mimic the real Cable Hill. That is not sounding great.
We're definitely hearing some engine issues. Now, I'll tell you this too. Those tires right there, they hook super well in the dirt, but the only time that those tires really seem to have any issues is on slick rock like that. And concrete is a little different than rock, just by like the nature of the materials that make it up. And that concrete today is going to be extra slippery. It's going to be very, very slick on that concrete today. And like I mentioned yesterday, if you notice, there's a lot of concrete slabs on the sides there, and those have no traction at all. They are designed to force the driver into the middle of the race course and keep them kind of inside that little narrow pathway for Fable Hill. So it's going to be a show.
I mean, they made this as much like the real Cable Hill as they possibly could. They went out and they surveyed the actual Cable Hill and came back and were able to build this replica. I lovingly named it Fable Hill, the fake Cable Hill, I think is how that came about. Yes, Clyde is out of the trailer. Look at that. We don't see that very often. I feel a little lost right now because normally Clyde's in there yelling that stuff at us. But he finally, we're training some new help, and he got to make his way out of the trailer for the first time in a while. And I believe it is a 4-minute time limit for the drivers today. And each flag, of course, is a 30-second penalty. Just a reminder. Man, Clyde apparently doesn't know where to go on the hill without being in his own camera these days. There it is!
That is how you're going to have to drive that hill today.
Oh, no! Oh! So close! And that looks like Danny and Bobby. Who else? I mean, I shouldn't have even had to really look up there, but our resident mountain goat drivers that manage to get everywhere around the hill all the time. I don't know how they do it.
20 seconds left, and we're running out of time.
All right, Ethan better keep moving now. He's got 20 seconds left on his time limit, and if he's not making forward progress, once he meets that limit, he'll be done.
He's out of time.
All right, he is out of time.
Man,
man, what an unfortunate. I know exactly how it feels to have Cable Hill kick your butt, though, and I think there's going to be a lot of other drivers feeling that way today too.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing that Ethan got out there and kind of showed him what it's going to take. You're not going to be able to walk the steps of Fable Hill today. You're going to have to, you're really going to have to just shoot it straight to the top from the get-go. So I think that kind of sets the tone.
Which driver were you saying yesterday realized they got mad at the bottom? Was it Dan?
Dan Carter.
Yes.
He imparted that wisdom.
Dan Carter.
That basically, that's how you.
Dan Carter with the best swag.
True.
In the business. Yeah. Full commitment and just trying to skim to the top. All right. Who do we have on the line? Can't quite tell. I see something. Revenge. Oh, it's Jerry Gray.
Jerry Gray. I really like the skin on this buggy because it's big, colorful, bright. You can see the name. I believe that Jerry's first race with us was last race at Wildcat. So today at Bikini Bottom, he's looking to make a statement. Obviously, as he's coming super quick out of that starting gate.
Oh, and you can just look at that pond that is gathered at the bottom of the hill. Oh!
That's how you got to do it. And Bobby Tanner.
Watch out, Bobby.
Bobby Tanner's not part of the race course, so I'm glad he got out of the way. Second lip is a really big step up there. I mean, it's a length where you can try and get some momentum, but there's a ledge about quarter way up there where his tires are just about the top of his tires are right now. That's a really
let's just say it's a heck of a lot taller and steeper than it looks on camera.
That's not where you want to be, I can tell you that.
Wow, there it is.
It's okay. It's okay. Okay, it sucks more now. Okay, that's bad. Okay. All right, he's fine. He stuck the landing.
All right, stuck the landing.
Stuck the landing, as Zach says.
But definitely sliding down the concrete slabs like that hurts. That hurts machines.
Yeah, that's rough on body, both person and buggy.
Yeah, we mentioned yesterday that a lot of these obstacles that are man-made so that the obstacles don't move while the bouncers are actually running under. There is concrete underneath. There's concrete below the slab, so it's not just concrete sitting on top of dirt. It's concrete on concrete and then some dirt. So very unforgiving, very punishing obstacles here to roll back down. Good to see that Mr. Jerry Gray was able to kind of roll back, give it another attempt. Looks like he's going to go a little bit more.
He is. He's not ready to quit. Those concrete steps out there always remind me of Pez candy. Is that weird?
I can see it. I know what you're looking for. I see the look.
Oh man.
That is what it's going to take, but that second step is going to be a real trouble for these vehicles. I told you from the get-go, I think that UTV, it's really going to be a bounty today.
Use all of the pedal on the right.
So, this being the UTV bounty class, they are running the exact same track that the big bouncers will be racing on next.
Uh-oh.
So this is not meant to be easy for these guys in any way, shape, or form. This is pushing everything to the limit for the UTV class.
Now I can see from up here that front right driver side, or excuse me, the front right passenger side tire. It's looking a little flat. I don't think he's got tire balls or anything in there, but definitely a little low on air, no doubt. An excellent showing though from Mr. Jerry Gray. I think he's going to hit the. Yeah, I think he's hit our time limit here.
And he's plug it back up. Hey.
All right, and he is out of time. Man, what a heck of a try though.
We've gotten the official timeout from Mr. Jerry Gray, a DNF. But I have to say, if this is what our day of racing is going to look like, I am ecstatic. I love this kind of racing where you get to go play on the hills and you get to see guys use every bit of horsepower, every bit of skill, technique, you know,
trying every line they can up there.
And sometimes skill and technique is hold it wide and hold on tight.
Hope for the best, as Clyde said yesterday.
That's right. Like today on Fable Hill, you're not going to be able to technically drive that car.
No,
that machine.
That's not a delicate crawler today.
Right. That machine, you're going to have to do some punishment for it to climb today. And every single driver that continues to go forward is only going to bring more mud, only going to bring more moisture up onto these obstacles. It's only going to get more wet. I think running first today is going to be the key. Unfortunate luck for Ethan Martin, though.
It hasn't not worked out well for both of our first drivers today, though.
However, had Ethan Martin's buggy been running right, had he taken that first
he would have had a real
right
shot
out of the gate, I think it would have been a little bit of a different story. But excited to have you joining us here. This is the VisoneRV Central Rock Racing Series, race number 1, presented by PRP Seats, and we are currently watching the UTV Bounty Series.
That's right. We are 2 drivers in for Hill 1. We've actually got a pretty good lineup for the Bounty class today. I believe this is Spencer Grindstaff. Let's see if we can get our first finish for Hill 1.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, I think Spencer is about 16, 17 years old, right in that ballpark. So always cool to see the youth out here, and it's amazing what some of these younger guys can do. Hanging in there with the guys that have been doing this their entire lives.
We've already had some Cash Lee Croy fans checking in. Oh! Wait, it's not over yet.
That's not a good
It's not over yet.
But a nice little 180, get him off the hill.
That was a nice pirouette right there.
That's right. I heard a really loud thudding clunk there, but it looks like all 4 wheels are turning. Steering looks good, so we're going to line it up again. Spencer Grindstaff's going to give it try number 2. There it is.
Laughing at Danny up there, yelling out some instructions. You know, now's the perfect time to say how cool it is, and one of my favorite things about this sport is the camaraderie between all the drivers. We've got Danny Smith up at the top of the hill yelling out some instructions for Spencer. We've got Bobby up there. They've got the fire aid can with them. Those guys are drivers and encouragers and recovery. Are they incredibly competitive out here? Yes, but will they give someone the shirt off their back or the wheel off their buggy so they can keep racing? Yes, they will.
And speaking of wheels and tires, those tires are smoking almost instantly. It is that should just show you how much traction those tires have, how much grip they're trying to get.
I believe Danny said, "Back down and commit."
Wise words, and quite possibly punishing words.
Probably about the only way to do Fable Hill in a UTV today. Or any day, really.
Do that. Go, 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 go.
And can we just say, for anybody that watches this, and it's tempted to be yelling like, why are you not going? It is incredibly intimidating to be in the driver's seat and be looking at an obstacle or like this, or a giant steep hill or whatever it might be, and tell yourself you're just going to pin it and point for the top. It's incredibly intimidating. So hats off to all the drivers, especially the young guys that get out here and give it their all on race day.
And I'll add this as well. This is my second day here, but first trip out to Bikini Bottoms Off-Road Park. The Fable Hill obstacle, you know, it's obviously got concrete. The traction is always going to be an issue, especially when you get mud on the situation. But it's a lot steeper than it ever looked on video. And we know we always say that when it comes to these races and these videos and things like that. But in particular, Fable Hill is extremely steep. They've surveyed it out to where it's almost, you know, the steps are almost the length of a razor buggy. It is extremely difficult for these UTVs, but that's what makes it a Bounty Series rather than a Cup race. A Cup race, you expect the drivers to finish. A Bounty Series is going to be make it or don't, and the make it team is going to definitely take some of the podium spots here today. Looks good. Now see, he bottomed out just slightly there. So when those skid plates and when all of those trailing arms, they grab anything, especially in a situation like today where traction is really hard to find, you got to carry a ton of
Oh, and we've got another timed out. I don't think Spencer knows that yet.
So our current race leader is no one, because we have 3 DNFs out of all the drivers, but I can tell you, if you're a fan like me, today's going to be a great day of racing because we've gotten 3 really awesome shows right out of the gate. It's only going to get better, I feel, and especially in the bouncer class today, we're going to have a lot of fun.
That was a good try, man.
All right, guys, and we are, of course, at Bikini Bottoms Off-Road Park in Dyersburg, Tennessee. We are here for the VisoneRV CRRS #1. Of course, that is the 3rd race in the season overall so far, presented by PRP Seats this weekend, and we are 3 drivers into the UTV Bounty Hill 1.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, I think this is correct. This is actually, this race here at Bikini Bottom is the makeup race for our Texas race that was canceled earlier this year. That race was scheduled to be our season opener of the Central Rock Racing and the National Rock Racing Association. The whole season opener, it got canceled due to some really wild snow down in Texas.
Icy weather.
And we're happy to finally kick off the Central Series, and couldn't be happier that's happening here today in Tennessee, because we have
and a little closer to home, let's just say.
hey, 3 hours, 4 hours is way easier than 12.
Yes.
So on the line we have none other than Mr. Danger Dan himself,
Dan
Mr. Dan
Carter. I'm repping. I got the hoodie, I've got the koozie, I got all the Dan Carter racing things going on today.
Before it gets too dirty, I always like to say Dan Carter has definitely the best design team behind his race team. His shirts are awesome, his hoodies are awesome, but that wrap that he's got on there, I think for 2021,
he's got a good theme going on.
He's got the 90s theme this year, so a little bit of mixtape action, a little bit of cartoon action on there.
And you and I are both 90s kids,
That's
so
right.
we can appreciate it.
That's right.
You know, that hill and the notch right there is actually not as hard as I thought it was going to be today with the rain that we had last night. I feel like it gave people more trouble yesterday.
So it was a little more soupy yesterday, and today it's a little bit more chunky.
It's like chunky mud. Oh, right in that same spot.
I'm hearing a break.
What all did he break? Everything?
We've got Danny on the scene assessing the damage.
Ouch.
Oh, heard that.
The whole rack?
So it sounds like
it's just a steering rack. He's still got the back.
Steering rack has come out of the chassis for Mr. Dan Carter. Now, there's consequences to all of that stuff there. You know, if you're going to drive with that mentality of full momentum from the bottom to the top, the couple things that are really going to take some abuse are going to be obviously the tires and wheels are going to get super cut up. Wheels are going to get smashed in. But being able to hold that steering straight, Obviously, you got to be able to steer. It's the foundational. Other than go, you got to be able to tell where it's going to go. Those racks, those tie rods, those are going to be the killed pieces today. But I can tell you this: it looks like a little bit more than the rack is pulled out of that machine. I see on Dan Carter's
lost the tie rod.
The lower A arm has been ripped off. It looks like the tabs on the chassis have been ripped off. So hopefully we can get a view of that on screen here, and you guys can get a chance to see Mr. Dan Carter pulling off the race course here. Our cameras are. It's so funny. That camera was actually just on Dan, and then it went back to moving around a little bit. But you can see that driver's side tire and wheel for Mr. Dan Carter, they're not hanging on. So we'll get a better camera angle, but back to us here. And I think you actually should be able to see him come up here behind us possibly. Oh,
He's going to back on out of here.
Oh, yeah, not the A-arm that I originally thought. It looks like the tie rod broke on the rack side and took out an axle with it as well.
I don't think that's supposed
Yeah, definitely don't.
Oh, that's supposed to be hanging down there like that.
Don't want to see those parts hanging down like that. But what happens when a tie rod breaks is you have a square system here, and it goes left to right. And when it goes way too far left or right, those axles are going to get punished very quickly. We got a food delivery for Mr. Zach Garner. So, yeah.
How do we get in on that? I don't know
how we missed out on that food option, but sad to hear that.
All right. Is it Zach on the line, or is it Josh driving again for him today? Do we know? I can't see from here. We're going to go with Zach Whitehead until we see otherwise.
Yep. As far as I know that this is Zach Whitehead, I know yesterday Josh Lewis actually ran for some points for him in the Cup Series. Josh ran a Turbo S4 seat through this entire course.
Wade Good's Turbo.
It was pretty interesting to see, no doubt. But I think we're still getting Mr. Dan Carter off the line here and getting the course clear.
All right, we've still got about half a dozen drivers left to go in the Bounty class. So far, 4 DNFs on the board. We've got a great lineup in the Bouncer class today, too. Our newly named Brannick Motorsports Bouncer Cup. Super happy to have those guys on board. Stan Haynes and everybody else at Brannick be able to have an official title for the Bouncer Cup class now.
Absolutely. Now, it takes a company like Brannick that makes these parts because obviously the Bouncers are atrocious on damage and things like that. You have to run the toughest parts that money can buy, and Brannick Motorsports makes a lot of those hard parts for those guys. So happy to have Brannick Motorsports Bouncer Cup in action. So thank you, Mr. Stan Haynes, for joining us on the team. This is Josh Lewis.
All right, this is Josh Lewis. Looks like he's driving Wade's trail rig. This is going to be interesting. A Bounty course.
Now, I'm going to call it here. Josh Lewis is going to make it up Fable Hill with a lot less trouble than everybody else.
That wheelbase.
Those four-seaters are they just right. But I'm going to say that, and I'm probably going to eat my words.
Is he going to have the giddy up, though? Uh-oh, same spot.
I can hear that front diff popping, that's for sure.
Wade is at the bottom of the hill, yelling for those on the hill to tell Josh to just back up and hold it to the floor. That is Wade's machine, and he's saying he is giving the okay.
Now I'll tell you, I can hear that popping from here. You know, I say it just about every time we get on the live feed, particularly with these Polaris machines. If they lose an axle, it's a really hard climb. These machines are extremely four-wheel drive dependent.
And I can think we lost.
Just that front left looks like it's definitely not pulling. From the sounds that I was hearing,
bummer.
It looks like it's going to be in the differential and maybe not just a broken axle. So, yeah, it's one of those things, a little bit of bad luck, but that's what it's going to take. And like I said, I thought I was going to probably have to eat my words on that one, but an awesome attempt by Mr. Josh Lewis and a little bit of a mechanical failure.
All right, we're 5 for 5. Fable Hill eating everybody's lunch right now.
That's right.
Well, between Fable Hill and the steps.
So I gotta ask, who's watching today from the house? Are you guys enjoying the nice, not wet weather? Because the sun's starting to poke out here at Bikini Bottoms. It's nice. It's gonna actually, I think, start drying up a little bit. So, you know, something really special.
Clear skies are coming.
Yeah, when the mud here dries up, it gets really, really, really tacky. But of course, we have Mr. Tyler Bradley in the Black Widow buggy. That little soup bowl down there is getting awful nasty. Because all that water that stays on the machine, it just gets drug up to all over Cable Hill.
Uh-oh.
That line was looking good until it wasn't.
Wait.
Ish.
All right, stop right there. No, okay, right there.
Now that's one of the things I was talking about, how concrete reacts differently. If that was a typical rock situation, just the properties of the rock grab sometimes that metal, but on concrete, there's really nothing that
you're going to the bottom
that hooks. You just kind of keep sliding down, and even when it's not that wet, you're going to see that. So I think as our sunshine starts to come out here for us just a little bit, things are going to dry up. By the time it's all said and done, we may have a dried out Cable Hill, or dried out Fable Hill. Excuse me, I've made that mistake multiple times.
Timmy Chuck says he is watching in the truck heading to St. Louis. Greg Meadows, Paintsville, Kentucky. Tiffany says she'd rather be here than doing prom prep. She is not into this girly crap.
I understand. I've been to my fair share of proms in high school, and
just gotta enjoy it.
It's one of those things where you don't get to do it again. You gotta enjoy it while you're there, and a lot of lifetime memories get made. And, in that last year.
We know you'll be out here next time, Tiffany.
Absolutely.
Joshua from Decatur, Illinois says, get her done, Matt Holt. Mark in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Wow, the sun just came out.
Can you bring me the poster?
Look at that.
Thank you very much. So I want to highlight something really cool. For those who are aware or not aware, as the sun starts to come out for us, our very own Mr. Bub Meadows has the owner of Addictive Photography has made these really cool prints for Wes Keene and his recovery fund that they've got going on. If you can't tell, this is a framed version of the print. These prints are $60 for the poster, and that they're available. They will be available online through the Addictive Photography Facebook page. And that is ADIKTIV, a little bit different spelling but Addictive Photography. $60 for the poster, for the printout just itself, and I know that he's offering banners as well. If you're here with us, if you plan on being here with us today, he has a limited number of posters available here with him today. I believe he's got 13 here today, but he'll be making a second batch if you want to order online. Addictive Photography, and
all of that will go
to Wes Keene's
towards Wes.
Yes, that's correct. And this one's going in the Venom Racing, the Venom Off-Road Shop. So very cool to have this one on board. But beautiful prints, beautiful pictures, and excellent work by Mr. Bud Meadows.
All right, next race.
All right, guys, we got cash money on the line.
He's only live for 12 years.
I think there's a few people out there that like watching Cash race. Where you guys at, huh?
He's one of the best out here doing it, so y'all pay attention.
Cash
is such a cool kid.
Cash laid a crazy time down yesterday too. So
yep, Cash took home a trophy yesterday already.
So this is the dismissed buggy. It is running well. Yesterday we got to see that the tune issues were all sorted out that he's been fighting this season. very exciting to have Cash running at full capacity, because yesterday he was right on that razor line of control and out of control, and I think we're going to have to... Now you can see that they're starting to get to dry dirt on that hill, and they're definitely, as it dries out, they're going to need more and more power to get up that hill, more wheel speed.
Dang it.
That's the same spot we're seeing everybody get stuck, so, you know, when I look at it and I look at all the variables between the machines, whether it be tires, power, whatever it is, there's not really a combination that's going to be super successful here. It's going to be driver. It's going to be how hard you're going to abuse your machine today.
I think a lucky bounce can play into that spot very much too. Sometimes that's just how it happens.
Now, what I, you know, you've heard me talk a lot about wheelbase today. And this is a prime example. You know, when Cash's skid plate is hitting that top ledge, his front wheels are actually coming off the ground. So, you know, the wheelbase there is just not exactly right for that ledge. So the only way that Cash's machine's going to make it is he's going to carry crazy momentum and just slide over it. I think this will be the story for the UTVs today. Man, that was a tough hit there. He's broke.
Something.
Front end is not pulling.
Oh, man. Good try, Cash.
Cash Money putting on a great show for us, but it doesn't sound like it's a front diff. I'm not exactly sure, but needless to say, that front end definitely took a toll there. Good showing by Mr. Cash LaCroix. You know, when an obstacle knocks out a big name, a dedicated driver, a proven driver like Cash LaCroix, you know it's probably going to be a long day. So it looks like right now, I would be surprised how many drivers we're going to have left for Hill 2. Every single driver so far is DNF'd. Today, first place will be the person with a time.
Well, Paul Wolf is on the line.
Yeah, buddy.
So, I don't know.
I saw Paul Wolf pre-running this earlier this morning, and I'm not sure if he got all the way up, but he was halfway up when we showed up.
I don't think that's going to do it.
It's just that perfect little net. Now, I'll tell you this, that Can-Am, we talked a lot about the high-end power yesterday in Can-Am. There's a little bit more instantaneous power there. So it takes a little less time to get wound up and get everything going. That first run was a good attempt.
It's crazy how much like the actual cable hill they were able to make this.
So close.
Jay, we are at Bikini Bottoms Off-Road Park in Dyersburg, Tennessee.
No 2x4 hill. You gotta hit that hill with a 4x4 at least.
So it looks like Mr. Paul Wolf is going to choose the high road and be able to get an attempt at finishing hill number 2. He's coming off the hill for hill 1. To me, if I know that every driver has DNF so far, I might make that decision, give it a good attempt, come off the hill, and I guarantee that I'll have a strong chance at hill number 2 because it may be DNFs all on hill number 1, and it may come down just to who's got the fastest. That's right. Yep. That's absolutely right.
Susan Keene is saying, please ask for prayers for Wes today as they are going to try and get him off the paralytic so they can move forward to get him off the vent. So absolutely keeping Wes in our thoughts and prayers for sure.
I got to give a big shout out to everybody that has continued to be praying for Wes. Our community has stepped up so big for him. And to all of Wes's friends, family, all of them, especially his mother that's been with him. Our prayers, our love, our hearts, all of it have been with you, and we all have faith that this is all going to turn out.
Yep.
Exactly, this is going to turn out the best way possible. Now, of course, we have Mr. Trent Radcliffe in the cliffhanger buggy.
And one other thing is that Mike Williams is here today with bracelets for Wes. For those that are here in person, all proceeds will go to Wes for that as well.
Sounds like a belt to me.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Oh.
We're too young to be blowing trannies.
Well, we just got confirmation that it looks like the transmission fell out. I say it all the time, those Polarises, they'll break the left side of the case. Just the deflection in the gears. I mean, when you're hitting something that wide open and you land on the throttle, the gear set in those transmissions, they really just, bind up, and what happens is a couple gears will break, things like that, and the excess will just shoot out the side. So he's going to give it, sounds like he's either out of reverse and trying to get himself in a situation where he can get off the hill, but a broken transmission's never what you want. It looks like it's probably a snorkel gear because the front end's not pulling, but the rear end's still working. So if it's transmission, front end's not pulling, there's a kind of a front section of that case probably having an issue there. You gotta appreciate no quit.
He doesn't care.
Hey, you gotta appreciate no quit.
He came here to race. He's not ready to call it quits yet. What's up, Bebo? Thanks for checking in. Yes, we are absolutely continuing to pray with the Keene family. And I do need to say, speaking of these wristbands, I messed up yesterday, and it is not Bebo that is selling the wristbands. It is Mike Williams and Tiffany. Yes, I'll try to tell Jack to grab some of those while he's here as well.
I gotta say, for two-wheel drive, Trent Radcliffe's putting on a show. That's pretty impressive. He took the super long start line there, got about a 1,000-foot running gap there, and really tried to give it his best, but two-wheel drive is definitely not going to be the winner here today. It's looking like he may only have reverse now. There it goes. Now it's in gear.
Yeah, that training's got reverse, it's got forward.
Oh, man.
That'll bump out.
It's,
a lot of that.
Oh, there we go. He's going to do a nice turnaround maneuver and get out in reverse. It looks like he's really having some issues, like keeping it locked in forward. So reverse it out, and
the second reverse out of this.
That's right.
That we've seen today.
I gotta love the ingenuity of some of our drivers. Sometimes you gotta get out of the situation by any means necessary. It'll work.
Yes, it is, Jackie. A violent hill.
Let me tell you, reverse,
Trent is struggling.
Yeah, so coming out of the bowl that this arena sits in, there's a pretty, it's not a hill by any means, but it is it's a bowl.
That's a good word for it.
Can't get out of the bowl in reverse right now. So we've actually got somebody pulling Trent out of the arena setting here, and we'll get our next driver lined up to jump in to this Bikini Bottom Bowl.
The sun came out.
Look at this beautiful weather. I know that guy right there. That's Mr. Wade Good, I believe. Getting ready to jump off the line. Now, if you're not familiar, this starting course does start with about a 3-foot drop-off. There's a nice concrete barrier that's been added, and these drivers fly right out of the gate. immediately into a jump that dumps them into the bowl, the arena race course here. Now you can see Mr. Justin Hoback trying to get this vehicle. Mr. Trent Radcliffe, he's just in a tight spot there, but we're getting everything worked out here. This is the VisoneRV Central Rock Racing Series, race number 1, presented by PRP Seats, and you are watching the UTV Bounty Series. Again, one more time, the Bounty Series versus the Cup Series. In the Cup Series, mostly everybody should be able to complete the course, and as we're seeing it today in the Bounty Series, it's hard. It is supposed to be hard. It is supposed to be who can actually finish the course, and with 10 DNFs so far,
it might be coming down to Hill 2 today.
It might be coming down to who shows up and breaks the beam on Hill 2. Because everybody, I think Paul Wolf is the only person that's come off this course not broken. Might be an easy win. Yeah. If all you got to do is show up, that's first place.
That definitely helps.
Now I'll tell you,
helps your odds.
In the event that everybody were to DNF on Hill 1 and one person were to break the beam on Hill 2 and everyone else were to DNF, if I'm not mistaken, that's a first place and there will be no second and third place. If you score no points, if there's no forward progress on the race course, I believe that means that there would be no finishers.
You get your points for attempting the hill, but everybody would have the same. So yeah, that would be an interesting scenario.
And that would be 0 points.
We'll see how that we'll see how it plays out today.
I always, like I said, this is part of racing. Interesting situations can happen. I know that in previous years in the Western Race Organization, you know, it's kind of fun calculating points, especially like last year at Visions. Particular drivers, they just needed to get 5th or higher. Some drivers needed to get first.
Yeah.
Push that driver out just a space or two.
It's crazy to me how the drivers and often like their wives or, you know, Rebecca Bacon comes to mind, can keep up with the points and the times and know exactly what they need to get.
Wade had a first place and a third place finish yesterday in the stock and the unlimited course. Same machine that he ran yesterday, and it looks like it's about to get beat.
I thought he was going to hit it wide open.
I think Wade is going to be one of those drivers that we see. He's going to take a really good stab at this, but if he can't get it, he's going to Hill 2. Now, sifting through the air while we're watching some racing is the wonderful smell of charcoal, of smoke, and I know almost
so close.
Those barbecues, those smokers, they're getting fired up, getting lunch ready for me because we got a lot of fans out here today, and I'm already hungry. And
we do. We've got a great crowd of spectators out here, especially for a rainy morning.
So if you're close, if you thought about coming and maybe the weather had deterred you a little bit, it's turning out to be a beautiful day here at Bikini Bottoms Off-Road Park in Dyersburg, Tennessee. Like I said, the smokers are firing up, the racing is hot. It's a great day to be out here. Woo, a little wild dance out there from Mr. Wade Good.
Marcus asking, has TC run yet? Marcus, this is the UTV Bounty class, which TC does not usually compete in. So, he is not on the list for today.
That was pretty promising. Now, if you can't hear in the background, we are nearing the end of our, and I think this might be our very last driver for the UTV Bounty Series. We're going to be kicking off our Brannick Motorsports Bouncer Cup on Hill 1. So, wise decision by Mr. Wade Good to go ahead and pull off a Hill 1. Going to see if he can get a time for Hill 2. So, we are now going to kick off our Brannick Motorsports Bouncer Cup and start Hill number 1. Very exciting, and I'll tell you this, Bree, can you give us our times for Hill number 1 in the UTV Bounty Series?
Yes, I can. They were all DNF.
Short, simple,
make it
and
easy
sweet.
for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. In first place, we have nobody on Hill 1 for the UTV Bounty class. We had a whole bunch of DNFs, but there's still Hill 2, so it's not over for these guys yet.
Now, I'll say that we only had 2 drivers pull off the hill as a kind of educated guess and trying to conserve the machine. A lot of drivers are broken. So I think that we're going to see the gap between Hills 1 and Hill 1 and Hill 2 for both race classes. I think we're going to see a little bit of an elongated gap. We've got RC racing during that time. A great chance to tune in and watch that, but I'll tell you this, we're going to need some time to get those machines fixed. There was some pretty legit braking out there. It's always a good time when you see the excavators getting fired up. You see the mini X getting fired up, the big excavator getting fired up. It's going to be a day that the safety team's prepared for. We've got staff members on hill. We have drivers on hill with some of our new products that our series is starting to work with. We have the Fire Aid that is typically in all of the vehicles, but Fire Aid has come out with a new product called Fire Bull, and that is in the 20-pound jugs, the big silver bullets that you'll see out there. And there on screen, no stranger to rock bouncing, a hero of mine and yours, Mr. Bobby Tanner.
And I don't know if you guys can hear, but the crowd out here is excited to see Screamin' Blue on the line right now. They are cheering him on. We didn't get to see Blue at our last race. Good to have Bobby back out here with us.
That sun coming out and making its name known. It is warming up very quickly here at Bikini Bottoms Off-Road Park. Now, it's pretty cool to start our day with a legend in the sport. It's pretty cool because, you know, like I mentioned earlier, some of these hills that the bouncers are going to be running, especially the exit points, they haven't gotten a chance to be ran today. The exit points haven't gotten a chance to be run all weekend. So he's going to get fresh soil. And I'll tell you this, that fresh soil up there is wet, it's soppy, it hadn't had a chance to get any of that stuff blown off the top. It's going to be a trial for Mr. Bobby Tanner today to go blow off that topsoil. And if there's, like I said, if there's anybody that can get out there, do it, blow it all out, and make it nice, it's going to be Bobby Tanner.
Coming to you.
As you can see, excavators getting in place. It's going to be a great time. Again, this is probably a great opportunity to ask you guys, where are you watching from? You watching from the couch? What are you doing today? Are you listening while you're in the car? We are so glad to have you joining us here on the live feed. It's a great day of racing, and Bree's back with some sunglasses.
Dude, this table's bright when the sun comes out.
It is, and the worst part is my mouse pad, it has warped. So I think I'm going to have to use the other side here and see if that'll work.
We got a little bit wet this morning, but glad to have that sun coming back out. Like we mentioned earlier, if you were thinking about coming out today, maybe on the fence, if you're in the area, it's going to be a great day racing. We've still got a whole lot to do today.
And there's definitely still some room in the spectator area. We've got a really impressive turnout already, especially for the predicted weather, but plenty of room for chairs, canopies, whatever it is you'd like to come out and enjoy watching the racing in.
Yeah.
Plenty of room, and I can see just from looking out there, everybody's having a good time. Things are starting to get a little wound up as these bouncers start getting turned on. And when you see Bobby Tanner on the line, it's ready. It's time. We are ready to race our Brannick Motorsports Bouncer Cup.
We got Nathan Andrews checking in from Italy. Ed's at Hawk Pride. Jared's in Ohio. Camp Crocker, Arizona.
Time to get the big bouncer. And
All right, here's a great view of our spectator area. Got to give a big shout out to our cameraman doing excellent work down there. And this will just show you we've got a very nice turnout here, especially with that rain.
And that's just the front row of them.
Right, that rain.
They spread out up the hillside to the back.
That was supposed to be here did not scare these people off, and I'll tell you that we should have more and more start pouring in the park here very soon with this nice weather we're having.
Cody, we are at Bikini Bottoms Off-Road Park in Dyersburg, Tennessee. This is the VisoneRV CRRS #1, presented by PRP Seats. And we are about to kick off the Brannick Motorsports Bouncer Cup. Bobby Tanner, of course, sitting there on the line. Our first bouncer of the day.
A little bit of fireback action already. It is amazing the power difference between bouncers and UTV.
Bobby, of course, no stranger to the original Cable Hill as well.
Son,
that is
back on all fours.
All right. Blue getting a little bit of a rude awakening there this morning. Wow, look at Danny go.
Holy cow.
He's fast.
Wow. I think I'm equally as impressed by Danny Smith being able to run down the hill that fast as I was by Bobby Tanner's run. Bobby Tanner, as I said, always a crowd favorite, coming out here putting on a show, and he left nothing on the table right out of the gate. I'm not surprised, but always
I don't think he let up one bit coming around that corner.
And even when he was sideways on the wall, didn't let up, and that's why our crowd work commentator here, Mr. Zach Garner, he chimed in and he mentioned he broke everything. Probably broke the motor, probably broke the suspension. I can tell you right now, the excavator.
They're bringing the excavator. Yeah.
You know, for 15 seconds, that's a heck of a 15-second run. I'll say that. Now, if you're noticing here on our table, we have a couple of really cool things here. The first thing,
what do we have?
I have my instant replay monitor, which is not. It is just my laptop in a waterproof bag. But even better than that, we have these beautiful trophies from Laser Nut Racing. If you hadn't gotten a chance to see these in person, the next time you're at a race, please come check them out on our production trailer desk. They are absolutely beautiful. Laser engraved as well, laser cut, bent, everything you need. Laser nut.
That is like mantle worthy, you know, for whoever gets to take these bad boys home.
Yeah, this one doesn't go in the shop. This one goes in the bedroom. This one goes in the living room because it's a nice piece of work. And as you can see, this one right here is Rock Bouncer Cup Series first place. One of these days I might have to walk off with one of these because these are absolutely a piece of art. Glad to have Laser Nut on board with us this year, making these beautiful works of art. They do everything from bending, laser cutting, and everything in between. I have a cell phone holder that Laser Nut built for me, and it's equally matched in quality. Really cool stuff. I know Cody Wagner, he's a big supporter of the off-road community. He does a lot of technical rock crawling. He's got an Ultra 4 team. I'm just waiting for him to build a bouncer and get a Laser Nut bouncer out here because that is like the one area that he is not in yet. And I'm glad he's here supporting us with his business, but I hope I can see Mr. Wagner out here one day in a bouncer. It looks like Mr. Tanner's machine is back up and running, doing just fine, pulling off. It's a little slow, but it's good to see the machine running for sure.
Limping back into the pits. But hey, better than swinging from the excavator.
So I can tell you, that is a front coilover that is not happy. So he definitely.
I don't think it's supposed to be poking out at that angle like that.
Definitely had some breakage there.
If that's all he broke, though, considering that hit he just took, then, well, could be worse.
Definitely.
Guess we'll see.
Now, I'll tell you, when it comes to technology, there's 2 or 3 cars that are really setting the standard for technology in rock bouncing. Obviously, we have the IFS machines, we have the Outlaw machines, we have Menace, that is a Tim Cameron machine. This is another Tim Cameron machine here. This is Cash LeCroy in what was originally the stand back buggy. I'm going to have to rely on our fans to get the name that Cash calls it, but that is a leading arm, trailing arm bouncer.
Does he not call it stand back?
He might still call it stand back. I'm not sure if he's renamed it. I need to do a little bit more due diligence there.
Somebody out there knows.
Absolutely.
I thought he still called it stand back, so.
But one of the really unique things is that you'll notice that there's a front sway bar on there, and that the shocks and coilovers, they're mounted to the upper link bar rather than at the axle. Now, what that does is in the trailing arm solution that a lot of these guys are running now, it gives you, for every inch of shock travel, you'll get 2 or 3 inches at the axle. Same thing for the front end. If you're the only one out there running that leading arm suspension, we'll see if it's It's so quiet once they go around that little berm. It's like they disappear for briefly.
Alright, he's already had one stab at Fable Hill today. Let's see if he can have a different outcome now in the big bouncer.
That'll change the course.
Nice.
Definitely. Cash LaCroix is out of the top, but he's definitely not out of the woods yet.
Come on, Cash! Yeah!
Here we go.
We finally got a timer right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Great run for one of our younger drivers, Cash LaCroix.
That's an 88.015.
88.015.
Man, that is so encouraging.
Well done, Cash.
Now, I'll tell you this, for those who saw it, on the Fable Hill, one of the side concrete slabs got ripped right off the wall there. It got dug out just a little behind when Cash kind of went up on the side. That obstacle has now changed because of that slab is now in the obstacle itself, and they're going to be able to have some of that traction from the dirt there.
Although there is a flag right up on top of that spot, so it's going to be interesting.
So for those who don't know, while I sit there and stutter about all of the implications of what Bree just said, if you hit a flag, there is a 30-second penalty. Is that correct, Jeremy?
Yes.
30 seconds for a flag. So there is a new area for traction on the hill. You got about 8 more
If
inches.
you can utilize it and stay out of the flag.
Exactly. The concrete slab added about an 8-inch buffer, up on one of those ledges, but that flag is there. And I'll tell you this, if you go for that area of traction where that dirt just got made, you're going to hit a flag, especially in a bouncer. I think that the UTVs may gain a little bit of benefit from being down there, but the UTVs are actually not going to be running Fable Hill again today. For hill number 2
that's true, yeah.
in the UTVs, they're actually going to be running the dirt hill just to the left of Fable Hill. So, again, maybe it was a wise decision for the UTVs to give it a couple attempts and back off, because that dirt climb is going to be a lot more attainable than Fable Hill.
Come on. Ooh.
Well, it looks like Danny Smith is actually getting that obstacle off of Fable Hill to keep it the same.
Attempting to, anyway.
That is
Danny's getting a workout today. Did you see him sprint across the hill so he could go over to the steps when Cash was going?
Yeah, so I'll tell you this, the excavator is coming in. It looks like we're going to get that pulled off the hill. Now, like I said a second ago, that's an 8-inch piece of concrete there. It really provides a crazy benefit, because it takes one of the ledge sections kind of out of the equation. Because of where it's sitting, it actually bridges the gap of the ledge. Interesting decision to take that out. Take what you will with that, but it equalizes the playing field. It makes Fable Hill, the integrity of what the obstacle is supposed to be. It's going to keep that integrity. So, interesting move. we'll see how it pans out.
I'm trying to tell if it's like a safety issue, but I can't really see from here.
It's very possible. I mean, in my opinion, it's probably a safety issue with tires, things like that, because broken concrete, it's still super sharp edges, things like that. I mean, you know, these tires.
It's hard to tell from this angle.
Tire balls are in those tires too, so you know there's flat resistant technology in there. But I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, you're totally fine though, sir.
So I don't know if I informed you guys. So
probably not.
The reason Bobby Tanner went first is he called me up and decided that he wants to go first on the first hill and last on the last hill, so that he can stay on the hill all day and help with recovery as well. So that's why he went first.
What a class act! Absolutely. Now I'm going to ask you too. That concrete slab that got put into Fable Hill, you guys are taking that out right now?
Correct. It kind of fell into the middle of the steps.
Now that kind of changes the
integrity. It doesn't really change the integrity. It was kind of a side piece.
Okay.
So it's not part of the actual bottom.
Well, I mean, it's sitting in the middle of the race course. Changes
correct.
it
So we decided to go ahead and take it out.
Okay. All right. I like that. That way it'll stay Fable Hill, what it's planned to be.
You can see where it came from up there.
Right.
Yeah. The holly flag on the side. It was actually up on the side.
Right. I like it.
Do both our C classes.
How many we got?
All right. As we get the excavator, it's actually pulling that entire concrete slab off the Fable Hill, off the equation. I would be curious, what do you guys at home think about that? Do you guys, anyone have strong opinions about that right there? Because
probably somebody does. It is the internet.
People always have strong opinions, and I'm curious because, you know, it's one of those things. I've seen a lot of discussion about how hills change and things like that. You know, do you leave them alone and just let them get rutted out and change that way? In my opinion, this being a purpose-built obstacle, you got to pull that slab out. You got to keep it the same. The point of this is to mimic another obstacle. It needs to be the same. Fell out.
And like Clyde said, it was from the side of it, which.
Right.
What?
So there we see our color commentator and crowd worker.
Come on, Zach, you can do it.
Mr. Zach Garner.
Don't stop. Don't stop.
Who don't know, the reason we have Mr. Zach Garner
one step at a time
is he has so much social debt towards everybody. he is ragged on everybody so much, so many times, that any chance that we can get to repay the favor, we'll take it here. We are a big family here at the National Rock Racing Association.
We have to do it behind his back, though. If we do it to his face, we'll never hear the end of it.
That's right. So we'll take our chances, and for those who know and love Zach just like we do, you'll know. President Charlie Brown Jr.
Oh, my left eardrum is rattling now. Crazy.
All right, changed his mind.
That's one way to get squared up for Fable. Well, he's definitely got the horsepower.
He's got the open exhaust.
Yes.
I would agree with you. It is really crazy to hear the exhaust echoing off the hills of Bikini Bottom. You know, obviously it comes off the big race hill, but there's hills behind us, and it reverberates through the entire wood.
I'm just watching Danny.
If Danny's not in the camera shot, he should be, because Danny's getting quite the workout. He is absolutely all over the throttle and doing his thing. That flag got tossed for a ride. That rear left is flat.
It's gone. It's gone.
It is, Oh! We're going to go ahead and get that taken care of if you can't tell. That was just some exhaust pull back out. Just coming from the exhaust. that's what happens when you run these vehicles at the maximum RPM for a while. It'll just build out and you gotta blow it out. Ooh, something's not running right though. As you can see, that tire has left the chat. That tire's said goodbye to that wheel and it's barely hanging on by a thread. Sounds like that'll be the end for Mr. Charlie Brown Jr. We're moving back. We're going to get our recovery team, going to get the excavator out here.
Well, that was a wild ride.
Hats off to Mr. Charlie Brown Jr.
Good time to note, as always, huge thanks to our recovery, both our official recovery team and our volunteers that are always so quick to run out there whenever a hand is needed. You guys probably heard Clyde come up and say the reason that Bobby ran first is he told Clyde he wanted to be first on hill 1, last on hill 2, so that he could just stay on the hill the whole rest of the time and help with recovery for all the drivers. So
yep,
we're an off-road family around here, a racing family. So
yeah, and Bobby Tanner is one of the best, no doubt. Absolutely one of the best.
And we've got, of course, we've been talking about Danny up there. We got Zach on the hill, Colton Hoback up there. Yep. Everybody always quick to lend a hand, whether that's running out to roll a buggy back over, running up with a fire extinguisher,
and just to make sure that the driver's okay.
Telling them to go.
That's right.
Send it.
That's right.
Yeah, checking on drivers.
We've seen the send it dance a couple times already.
We need to tell Josh to be sure to get Danny in the shot.
Yes.
Highly entertaining. Alright, I think we've got Randall Key on the line.
We're just trying to, again, the reason I was just turning around there for a few moments, just making sure course clear, all that kind of fun stuff. Again, safety's the priority here. We got to make sure everyone's out because these guys are wide open today. The sun's coming out. Everyone's in a good mood. Everybody's probably feeling, you know,
there's so much going on back here too. You guys are probably going to notice we're turned around a lot. It's hard not to.
Yeah, definitely. But I would say that the race day anticipation is high. A lot of power out here today. A lot of just a big show. I can't get the words out because there's so many.
So excited.
Things. It is. I'm excited. I'm happy. The weather's beautiful. So many different things are just working right for us today.
Hey, also it's a good time. Y'all see that guy in front of you with that awesome poster? That's a West King poster. Boom, got together, made these up. They're available.
All right, so I believe, yep, there's Randall Key on the line. For those of you who aren't familiar with Randall, he is actually paralyzed from the waist down, and he drives completely with hand controls. That's steering, throttle, brake, shifting, and rear steer. He does all of that completely with hand controls. Randall has been one of our longest running SRRS drivers. I think he's competed in more events than just about anybody since the beginning of the series. Always love seeing him out here.
That has turned into a muddy mess, and he is slinging water-bearing sand out of that hill.
That is a nasty hill right now, y'all. He needs all the momentum and wheel speed he can get right now. Come on, Randall. Oh.
Back up to a better run. Back it on up. Back it on up.
Let's see how he handles Fable Hill.
That's how they used to do it. That is how you can do it right there. You warm them up, you get them hot, you get them in the right place, and they stick like glue.
Oh man, so it looks like he got a little wide into the bank there. He's out of it now. Back it up, Randall.
There you go.
Back it up. Nice.
Already seeing another one of those rear right flat tires.
Man, this concrete is tough on some tires.
And especially that Fable Hill, there are some jagged edges. There's concrete that's made of gravel and rock. It's not exactly the most friendly to the material, especially the tires.
Bobby out there.
What a guy.
Yelling at Randall, letting him know.
What just a guy, man.
What's happening with his tire?
Goes out there, almost demos his entire machine. Next thing you know, not even worried about fixing it at the moment. He says, you know what, back on the hill, I'm going to get it squared away. I'm going to help these guys out. I'm going to enjoy race day. I can't, sometimes you just can't get past it. So Randall's going to get pulled off here in a great showing for sure. Now, one thing I do want to highlight is on our beautiful trophies here. Let's see if I can borrow this here. Well, I want to give a shout out to some of our sponsors, if you don't mind. So obviously today's race is the VisoneRV CRRS race number 1 presented by PRP Seats. But I'm just going to run through a list of our awesome sponsors here. Yukon Gear and Axle, Spider Off-Road Performance, Radflow Suspension Technology, Raceline Wheels, CA Technologies, Laser Nut, RCV Performance Products, VisoneRV.com, RV Parts, PRP, Venom Shifters, Mickey Thompson's Wheels and Tires, Speed Strap, Rock Life Off-Road, Wildcat, Adventure Off-Road Parts, and last but not least, SCS Gearbox. Thank you for all of our sponsors who support our sport. And while you're watching racing today, make sure you check out those flags that are on course. Support those who support the sport because they help us come out here and race. On field, we have, if I'm not mistaken, Daniel Heckley in the Outlaw Buggy. Old Outlaw Buggy. I don't know if he's got anything.
Nice, making quick work of Fable Hill. And you can tell the bottom of this, the start of the stair steps there has gotten dug out and turned it into more of a lip there.
Now,
not so much of a smooth launch onto those steps anymore. Oh, wait. There it is.
Don't worry. That's not your real run. Yeah, that's not your real run.
off to that recovery crew for being so quick on the scene right there.
Absolutely. You can see
Bobby, Danny, Colt. I can't even name them all now.
You can see our safety efforts. Sorry, a little juiced up right there.
Yep.
Our safety efforts, and especially with our fire recovery, have been enhanced tenfold. We've got guys in the right spot. I don't know if you were able to see there. Every single person on the hill had a fire aid canister in their hand, ready to rip. That fire was taken care of very quickly. Obviously, the way it fell worked out a little bit into Daniel's favor, where it was not
on the other side
up. He was sitting on the correct side, all that kind of fun stuff. But fire's out. We're going to get him recovered.
Yeah, and shout out to, we had the guys from Fire Aid come today, and during the drivers meeting, put on a cool demo for us of the Fire Aid product, sprayed it on his hand, and then sprayed a blowtorch on it to show, the protection that the Fire Aid offers, and then talked about the suppression systems available in the buggies and what that would look like. And, so definitely a conversation that everyone's having right now and wanting to make some steps toward and it's on everyone's mind, so we want to all be thinking about what each driver can do to take responsibility, as well as the series overall,
and some of the education stuff regarding fire aid that was so interesting, because Bree was exactly right. They had probably about a 20-minute demonstration yesterday before the UTVs ran, and they did the exact same demonstration again today with the fire aid. What the chemical compounds are able to do, their kind of tagline is they made it
keep talking.
Their tagline is that they've made it 30% wetter than water, and what that does is that gives it supplies extra time to the driver, supplies extra time to the safety team for them to get to the driver, get to the situation, because the same way that a hot pan, when you pour water on it, it stays hot for a while. Fire aid, because it is so wet and so dense of a chemical product, it cools the metal faster.
Yeah,
and so
it's a really cool product. I knew how effective it was, but I didn't know why. I hadn't seen the demonstration before.
Right.
So yeah, it was really
one
cool.
of the things that we learned this week with the fire aid demonstration was that fire aid is water based, it's water soluble, so it's actually made in the event of a recovery situation where you're trying to get a driver out of a machine, to spray the driver, because in a fuel situation, there's three things the fire needs, right? It needs fuel, oxygen, and a spark, or something hot that they say. And in this situation, what the fire aid does is it does generate that protective barrier, and it's not necessarily, obviously it will put the fire out, but in a situation where you have a big 20-gallon fuel cell, you're not going to be able to put a 20-gallon fuel cell out. So the goal is to protect the driver and generate a situation where you've got time to get the driver out of the vehicle.
Right, that's always obviously goal number one, is taking care of the driver, and then that get them out, and then work on the fire, work on the vehicle after that.
Absolutely, and there have been improvements to the tech specs and all that kind of fun stuff that will be coming in 2022 for all these drivers, including things like firewalls, correct fuel checks, things like that. So, you never want to have to be a reactive society where it takes an event for an organization or a group of people to react to a situation. But I would say that there's been a lot of proactive steps from here on, a lot of things that are actually being put into concrete steps. It makes me happy to see as a fan and as a member of the team, for sure. A lot of hard work and a lot of thought is going into those solutions to fix that potential issue. Just one quick reminder for those who are not or just joining us. My name is Jesse Williams from the Racing on the Rocks podcast, and I'm here with my co-host, Bree Molitor. This is the VisoneRV CRRS, race number 1, presented by PRP Seats.
That's right, and we are at Bikini Bottoms Off-Road Park in Dyersburg, Tennessee. If you weren't able to make it to this event, maybe you've been watching online for a while, you haven't been able to come to an event in person, head to nationalrockracing.com and you can see the rest of the event schedule for the season and see if there's one that's going to be close enough to you, and hopefully you can come on out in person, because as fun as it is, I hope you guys enjoy watching the show online. Obviously, we're happy to bring it to you, and not everyone can be here, but coming in person and getting to experience it at least once, it's just different.
It's especially at this
worth it.
particular. But it looks like Daniel's getting recovered. We've got recovery vehicles. We're getting it just pulled off course. Everybody's good, great, doing well.
And if y'all don't mind, just to stop confusion, if you're here in a spectator capacity, just keep spectating and let us try to do our best. I mean, you can point and laugh, or you can cheer us on, or you can scream at us, but stay back in the area and out of the way. I really would appreciate it.
Can you guys hear Zach?
Yeah, that's a great question to ask.
Can you hear him?
And sometimes we enjoy the commentary that comes through the overhead speakers, but if you guys can't hear it, it's just silent. So we are enjoying the full capacity of our race here today at Bikini Bottoms, and we are just getting started here in our Branding Motorsports Bouncer Cup.
That's right. We are only 5 drivers in, and so far, Cash LeCroy with an 88.015 is our only finish for the day, both in the UTV Bounty class Hill 1, which we already completed, and now for our Bouncer class. I think we got Jake Pike on the line.
That should be the case.
And looks like we're getting close to getting Daniel off the hill. All right, guys, you've gotten a little taste of what today's racing is looking like so far with the rain that we had last night and this morning. You know, none of the UTVs were able to complete Hill 1. So far, only one bouncer has been able to. Do we have any predictions on times and who you think it's going to be? Cash with an 88.0 right now is the only time to beat.
I have an interesting one. How many bouncers do you think will finish Hill 1?
That's a very good question. Danny riding along with the fire extinguisher at the ready. They're not taking any chances there.
I'll tell you guys this. There has been a lot of lessons learned, and I've seen a difference today, unlike anything I've seen at a race before.
Everybody's taking it seriously, for sure.
Very much so. But there is Mr. Jake Pike in Fordzilla 2.0, sporting a different version of the Super Swamper tire. These are the IROCs, and the reason I always bring that up, man, look at those beautiful welds on that chassis. I cannot tell you how much I love this style of chassis. It is the bare minimum, as few bars as possible, all chromoly, TIG welded, beautiful work of art. Really something special, because Jake, when he built this buggy, he wanted lightweight. So he's got 9-inch housings, all TIG
There is
welded.
nothing extra or unnecessary on that vehicle.
And everything that is on that vehicle, lightweight and super strong. Now, we've seen Jake run, obviously we saw him run at Wildcat and Windrock. He gets kind of tossed around a little bit because that buggy's so light. He's using a little bit of a different suspension setup too. He's using ORI struts with a piggyback reservoir on there. Something different. I like it because he on purpose chose to do it just because it was something different.
Yeah.
I don't think it's hindered his performance at all, in my opinion. Fordzilla 1 had ORIs, and he's kind of gone to the next new technology for the ORI strut. Really cool stuff. And I always think his bouncers look like UFOs sitting on top of like a bouncer frame. And this one is definitely unique.
Now that's all I'm going to see when I
So Fordzilla 1 looked really UFO-ish out there. It was kind of like a bowl at the bottom that went to a cage. Fordzilla 2.0, he went even more minimal, even less bars. You know, everything's so much tighter into the chassis. The engine is tighter, transmission's tighter. I wouldn't want to work on that machine because of how tight everything is. Yeah. But let me tell you, I haven't figured out what it looks like yet. I haven't gotten it down. But I'll come up with something.
Let us know when you get it pinned down.
Because once I get something in my head that something looks a certain way, it's really hard to get out of that mode. But
what do you guys think?
Yeah, let me know if Jake Pike's Fordzilla buggy, or if any of these buggies, if they look like something to you, because I'm a big, helps me remember all the information about these machines. Steering, check. That's how our drivers identify that they're ready to go on the race line, by letting them know, by just giving them a little steering wobble to make sure everything is good to go, lined up. Gives us a go-ahead from the driver.
Driving that Fordzilla buggy.
side to side.
But he's up. He's moving, y'all.
Our safety team moving from hill.
He was moving too fast and he missed his turn.
He did.
Oh man, he is all over the hill. So close. Come on, Jake.
It looks like we cannot turn left. He's having some real serious issues going left, and that's why you're seeing him kind of hug that right line. All right.
There it is.
Hey, one way out is the right way out, and he took the right way out. Excellent showing by Mr. Jake Pike in that Fordzilla 2.0 buggy. If you haven't caught on, it's a Ford-powered buggy. We have, if I'm not mistaken, only 2 Ford machines out here. Mr. Crow, the Crow Show, and Mr. Jake Pike are our Ford engine buggies.
And that was a 96.295 for Jake. What's up, Ryan?
On the line, we have Menace. I can see him in the other camera angle there. Looking good. Menace is a new to Brandon Davis buggy, a TC built. TC raced it last year. A Triton Engineering bulkhead in the front end. Basically, that whole front end is built around the bulkhead because it takes a gnarly piece of equipment to be able to handle the front abuse, the abuse in the front end. But we can see it looks good. Woo! Getting us nice.
He's ready.
Here.
Got that.
Clearing this, clearing that.
Probably like a big duck.
You clear every layer but the top.
And in the top right of our live feed, you see a rotating box that has all of our sponsors on board. Happy to have those guys with us. And always support those who support the sport. As my good friend Miles Hasselquist always says, and the flags are flying and they're waving. It's a nice day out here at Bikini Bottoms Off-Road Park in Dyersburg, Tennessee.
Sally, Jake had a time of 96.295. Tiffany, Jack is a ways down the list. It's going to be a little while till we get to him.
So, in the bouncer class on Hill 2, we have our Yukon. But before we get there, Dennis is off the line. So Brandon chose a little bit of a different line there and hit more water than I think he had expected. Old school rock mounts.
Those are going to be some sticky tires now. Holy cow, he about pulled the disappearing act.
That is classic rock mounting right there. Get them hot and get them sticky. Is set on kill and destroy. Excellent run by Mr. Brandon Davis. What a show, too. Waiting to get the time for Mr. Brandon Davis.
All right, 72.222.
That's a smoking run.
Fastest time right now. That means Cash LaCroix with his 88 is second right now, and then Jake Pike with a 96 is currently third out of only 3 times.
That is a 16-second difference between 1 and 2. That is a gap.
We need to get Jake up here talking to us.
All right. Adam Coots in the right.
I wonder how many miles away people can hear this right now.
Yeah, cut it off and reset it.
All right, Danny's telling him to back down and get a run at it.
Now, I'll tell you that he's running the USD sticky tire. It rides loose dirt. He's on the rock. But in the dirt, that's the tire to go to, it seems like.
Quit lifting your right foot. Leave it down, see what it does. If you keep letting off the pedal, you're never going to make it up.
Something pretty interesting. You don't see those tires smoking like all the other ones. They're going to get a quick check on him, make sure everything's good, and then give him a thumbs up to get going again. But Adam Coots is giving it a
He's giving it everything he can out there right now. It's so loud in this bowl right now. You guys might have noticed we're not really saying anything, but you can't hardly hear yourself out here.
I actually had to go and I grabbed a headset here out of the trailer to make sure that I could hear Bree and myself when we're talking here. Definitely a lot easier to hear with a headset on.
Come on.
There's some tire smoke for you. There's some tire smoke for you. I don't know if anyone's going to top Brandon today, though. Hey, you come over and look at times, you got to come talk to us.
I brought y'all something to share. Come on.
Trip's over here trying to sneak a peek at the notebook.
All right, Trip. You got your boy Cash LeCroy put on an absolute clinic out there, sitting in second place right now. How you doing? How's Cash doing? What's the secret to this hill?
He just he's the first time that Lee come back, and he's still getting used to his buggy. So he come back and he was smiling. He said, "That's the first time I've ever really got to use all the motors." So when he laid into it on the top of the Fable hill, it was really that's all that motor had. So they're going back now. He had a little hiccup, some problems in the UTV bounty. So Dad and the rest of the crew will get back while I'm eating the snow cone. And
now, last night at dinner, we all at the restaurant, and Cash had just polished off a big old piece of chocolate cake, and he said the sugar makes him drive faster. Are you trying to sugar him up again?
Yes, I got him. So as soon as he gets back, I've got him ice and everything.
I knew it.
So
I knew it.
He always gets the red carpet rolled out.
Trip Bull is doing the hard lifting here.
Well, thank y'all. Appreciate all y'all do.
Thank you,
See you, Trip.
Glad to have you up here. Thank you for joining us. Now, we're getting Mr. Adam Coots off the hill, it seems. I've seen the helmet come off, so I'm going to take that as a DNF for hill number 1 for Mr. Adam Coots. Man, I'm going to be honest with you. Having this headphone on right here, just one ear blocked out from these loud, massive horsepower engines, makes a big difference in being able to hear what I'm saying. So for those on the live feed, you probably hear when the engine goes up, our voices go up, and we probably are screaming at you. So glad to have some new headsets here to take full advantage of being able to control everything that we're saying.
All right, they're going to try to get Adam jumped up course. Next up, we got Larry Crow. If you're a Ford fan, you better get on your feet.
Now, we had the first of the Ford show. We had Mr. Fordzilla, Jake Pike, put on a really good show for us with a 96.275. But next off the list, we have Mr. Larry Krogh from the Krogh Show. 9.5, excuse me. Let me take this off online.
Yes, Larry Krogh. Can't see the starting line. Should be on the line. About to put on a show, a Krogh show, more specifically for all of us.
Just to make sure I said that right, I've got the time for Jake Pike is a 95.275. What'd you say? Sorry.
It's a 96.295.
96.295.
Yeah.
I put it in there wrong. All right.
See, this is why we have multiple people doing it.
And we are not the official timekeepers by any means. We are just the timekeepers so that you guys can get a chance at home to have something at the end of the day. These are all unofficial times, and I'm glad I'm checking with Bree here just to make sure all of our systems are lined up here. This is the unofficial, very unofficial timekeeping done by Bree and myself. We're just catching wind through the radio system. All of our times are electronically captured in our system automatically through our timing system wired up to our production computers, hardware, things like that. They're all super accurate. What we say is hearsay through our relays. Sometimes it gets
it's like, playing telephone.
Definitely so.
Especially when the motors are singing out there. But it's all good. Like he said, we've got the official times always captured for sure. Just a reminder for anybody that's just checking in with us and has missed some of the details so far. We are at Bikini Bottoms Off-Road Park in Dyersburg, Tennessee, enjoying that the sun has come out. We're all a little afraid we might get rained on today, but it's turned into a beautiful day, another one, because yesterday was awesome. We are here for the VisoneRV CRRS #1, and that is presented by PRP Seats this weekend. We wrapped up Hill 1 for the UTV Bounty Series, and we are now about a third of the way through our Brannick Motorsports Bouncer Cup. So far, we've only got 3 times on the table. Brandon Davis leading right now with a 72, then Cash Lee Croy with an 88, and Jake Pike with a 96.
And our UTV times?
Don't exist.
Okay, DNFs for everybody.
DNFs across the board for the UTVs for the Bounty.
I hear a lot of times we want hard hills, we want to see the show, we want rock bouncing, right? You got it on Hill 1. You went now.
Cracking us up.
Yeah, sometimes watching these guys run can be can cause you to have a seat eater syndrome, where your seat just starts to get eaten because everything gets a little more tense. Definitely
realize you're holding your breath.
Yeah, definitely part of the show for sure. But one question I have for you guys, as the clouds are kind of rolling in, starting to get a little bit of break, how's that live feed quality? We haven't gotten any information back, so we're assuming good. Sometimes no feedback is the best feedback.
It looks good. Good, not great, I would say, from what I can see here on my phone. Definitely a heck of a lot better than we were having at Windrock.
It's unfortunate.
We're hoping we got some of the satellite company issues ironed out.
Yep.
Fingers crossed.
There were some phone calls made after Windrock, and it seems that I know Wildcat looked pretty good, and I'm glad to hear that today's good. And hopefully, as these clouds start to clear out a little bit more, we got a little bit more sunshine coming, that feed quality will stay good or improve. Always hopeful for the future. It looks like Adam Coots' buggy is going to have to be dragged out. Looks like jump starting it wasn't going to be the key for today, so they're going to go ahead and drag Mr. Coots' buggy out. Hopefully he can get that bug sorted out. It seems that they were trying to jump start him, possibly electrical issue, starter issue. Hopefully he'll get that fixed and be able to run hill number 2.
All right, guys, if we can manage to drag a driver over here and get them to talk to us on camera, which is not, for guys who are brave enough to strap into a high horsepowered machine like that and tackle one of these hills, they don't like coming over here to talk to us. That's okay. Once in a while we can get one over here. So is there anyone specifically that you guys would like for us to come over and try and get them on camera and talk with us about whatever.
Yeah.
Anybody you want to hear from, let us know.
Favorite.
All right, looks like we've got, pretty decent feedback on the video quality. It's not perfect, but it's a heck of a lot better than it was. I think we can all probably go with that assessment. Hopefully something we can keep on improving. We will be actually taking Hillside Live next weekend to Rush for the Pro Rock race event, and that is next weekend, the 16th and 17th. So we will be there, or well, I will be there, and I believe Aaron is going to be filling in, sitting in the hot seat with me.
So that event is the Pro Rock Racing Series debut for 2021. It is the Ultra 4 Rush. I don't remember the exact name. Maybe it's the Bluegrass Battle. I believe that's going to be the title for the
There's
Ultra
a whole
4
lot
event.
going on next weekend.
And it's the Rush Anniversary Badge. So if you haven't gotten a ticket, sorry about that. We've got Mr. Larry.
All right, who's ready for a Croak show?
Seems that Mr. Larry Croak has found the path of least resistance with that water. These Troubadours are winning today. A little bit of a different tire choice seems to have paid off.
You just made Fable Hill look, dare I say, easy? Oh, that was a little bit of a rough ride, but it worked.
For that ladder right there, they have a jump built right at the bottom. So it's made for you to jump up onto it like that and really carry all that momentum. It's 100% not made for you to dip down in and try and climb it just starting from the bottom.
5, 2,
What do you think his time was? Did you just hear Zach say
No,
it?
I'm going to bet it's in the 60s.
5.8.422 for Larry Krogh.
Wow.
That is our fastest time right now, folks.
I know Kathy Krogh, I believe is her name.
Uh-huh.
She's watching, and she's going to be very excited about that time right there.
Larry just put down a 58. Brandon Davis is the next fastest with a 72.
So we have
And then an 88, and then a 96. This is so different from our normal, super tightly grouped times. This hill is really, it's just throwing things around today.
From first place and second place, it's 14 seconds. And from second place to third place, it's 16 seconds. So you have 30 seconds within the top three. A lot of time there.
Not something that we're used to seeing out here.
Absolutely. Now we have Underdog off the line.
Is this Jeff Roberts?
Jeff Roberts, that's correct. Back right axle is broken. Back right rear axle broken on the passenger side there.
All right, we have some requests to get Brandon up here to talk to.
Absolutely.
We'll see if we can snag him at some point.
All right,
Kathy and Sally, y'all are cracking me up today.
Back to us. Unfortunate DNF for a broken rear axle shaft there. So just some tech talk here while we've got some downtime. The axles that all of the bouncers run, they're called full float axles. And what that means is when you break an axle shaft, the axle, the tire and wheel don't walk out on you because they're actually bolted into the actual axle housing themselves, hold them in. So if they're not spinning, they're broken, but they're not going to walk out on you because like a typical truck or quarter ton truck or whatever it may be, a car that uses solid axles. If you broke an axle, that wheel and tire are gone out of the car. But here it is in the Taz buggy, Mr. John Allen Campbell.
And I believe that John is racing for Scott Goforth today, getting him some points. Fable Hill's drying out.
Definitely got supercharger, turbocharger breathing hard on that machine right there.
Way to avoid that flag.
Yeah, that's the finesse that these high-level drivers have.
He is backing way up.
That looks good.
Nice. That'll do it.
Man, great run. Absolutely great run.
92.401.
92.401. All
right, Larry Crow still sitting in the lead, followed by Brandon Davis, Cash LeCroy, John Campbell, and then Jake Pike. Those are your top 5. Those are your only 5 times right now. I believe the Danny Smith is now on the line. There's a tent right next to us, so we can't see the starting line from our table.
Always have to bring up these reject fab buggies that can impact last year in the race season. Obviously race seasons before that, but last year reject fab really stood out. High performance chassis, a lot of really cool work done by those guys over there. Justin Holt and his team do great work.
There it is. That persistence pays off. Whoa, he is all over the place in there. Oh.
The steering wheel comes off. Yeah. I hate it when I stand up and downhill and the steering wheel comes off.
There it is.
And out the top. Danny Smith, excellent run. Very, very good run for Mr. Danny Smith.
81.060 for Danny. That's a 3rd place time right now. What you got?
Beautiful. The VisoneRV Central Rock Racing Series #1, presented by PRP Seats, and this is the Brannick Motorsports Bouncer Cup. Only hill #1. Now, I can tell just by the sarcasm coming out of Mr. Zach Garner's mouth over the speakers that on the line is none other than the Helmet Motor. It's gonna eat. That's wild. He just shifted down and it just started climbing.
Swinging that corner. That's gonna
always, Mr. TC putting on a clinic. Oh no, the face Bree gave me. Let's see what it's at.
56.745. We got part of the Cameron clan over here right next to the trailer. They're pretty happy.
So
56.745 for Timmy. That means that Larry with his 58 now in second, and Brandon with the 72 moved down to third.
Now, you have to say, I mentioned earlier that running first may be the key to success, but with the sun coming out,
it's
with
drying
this
up.
Beautiful wind coming through, all the concrete, all the mud is just starting to get soaked up and dried out. Now, here's the real question. As they continue to run a little bit later into the day, we're about halfway through our list right now. As it continues to dry out, is someone going to run it faster than that right there? Because the more dry, the faster you can get up Fable Hill. The drier it is, the faster you can get up those concrete slabs. Now, this is a good friend of the production team here, Mr. Jack, taking off in the Venom buggy.
Jack attack.
Come on, Jack.
All right, Tiffany, I hope you're watching. Oh no! All right, somebody sabotaged the buggy, clearly. I don't know who it was.
So the front drive shaft fell out of the car.
Like I said, sabotage, clearly.
Yeah, that seems a little unique to have an entire drive shaft just fall out of the car. I know I can see Mr. Bobby Tanner walking.
He's just carrying it down the hill.
It's I guess he'll just leave that drive shaft there. Bad luck.
He's got another one.
I don't think it's broken. I think it just fell out. Unless both U-joints broke simultaneously and it just so happened to perfectly fall out of the machine.
We'll get Jack over here a little bit later if we can.
I was looking around to see if Jack was going to pull around the production trailer here. I'm not sure. Possibly the yokes broke on both sides, but that little bit of bad news there.
All right. Jess Reed is on the line. A newcomer today.
I'm getting the clock is hot for Jess Reed.
Tiffany says, seriously?
I was giving Bree a kind of puzzled look there because I couldn't exactly tell what buggy that was. But trying to get that motor running just right. There's such a deep sound in that buggy. It's very different than what we're normally hearing. I'm not sure if it is the Bad Attitude buggy. I don't believe it is. Giving it a gallon though, that's no doubt. Very nice work.
D-Pat said that's Dorothy.
The buggy's name is Dorothy.
Is that what you mean?
Okay. Yeah, so obviously a newcomer to the race series and a newcomer buggy-wise. to show up, first race, new buggy. That's a great showing right there on one of the harder hills that's DNF'd a lot.
for Jess Reed.
Looks like we got Jed Harper. He's got some unfinished business. Oh, that's the name of the buggy. My bad. Got a TC built rig.
Dylan said, yes, that's a Kansas boy, and that's why she got red shoes. I thought maybe that was
I like it.
The connection there.
Yeah. If those shoes touch, you're definitely getting sent home.
This is Jed Harper.
Now this is an old TC built machine. It's cool to see Jed out here running this machine. It's a beaut. So you're definitely seeing this. You absolutely love to see it.
Giving her all she's got.
Love to see those kind of beat downs on these hills. Jed Harper.
Well, he definitely got a flag penalty, but he also got himself to the finish line.
Hey, like I said, a time is better than no time, so a time with a little bit of a penalty, it's not the end of the world.
What about with the flag penalty?
122-656, 122-656, Jed Harper.
122-656 for Jed Harper. And Jay Stewart's on the line, I believe. We're going to get that flag put back up.
So during this time, we're trying to get Mr. Jack Porter up to the line. Sounding a little hesitant to get up here with us, but I'm just getting our scores refreshed so that we can stay up to date with everything, and we'll give you guys a brief summary here in the just a brief moment.
Hey guys, also y'all go over there.
All right,
that good
thanks.
Food over there at that Razorback barbecue. That red tip.
Come here, Jack.
I got that bologna sandwich.
Why'd you leave your drive shaft on the course?
It won't take.
I know how to eat.
The drive shaft broke.
Guys, do you see what we're talking about with how difficult it is to get these drivers to talk to us?
That's right.
Jack Porter.
So did it just fall out or did it break?
No, it broke the yoke on this.
It broke the yoke, okay. Yeah, it looked too clean to just completely come out for it to have twisted or something crazy like that.
The shaft's fine, just getting a new yoke. Be alright.
This is Chris Winchell.
Here you don't know how to do her job.
Come on, baby.
You got me going. I'm down here at the end.
The smoked out Daniel Heckley, but smoked out. Looks like it's got a new owner, new driver for today, definitely.
Bag it up. Money.
Jackie, the last guy's time, that was Jed Harper, and it was a 122.656. There it is. Nice.
That's what we like. You love to see it.
Let's do this one.
Nice.
Nicely done. And Chris Winchell has a whole cheering section over here. What was the time?
103.314. 103.314. You know, Heckler's wrong.
103.314.
And just one more time, give us the name of that driver, because that's a newer driver.
That was Chris Winchell. All right, Jay Stewart's on the line.
Showstopper action.
That hill is just getting chewed up.
It is.
Oh, a sudden stop in the pond down there, but he made it out the other side.
That is a Cable Hill style run right there.
There it is, inching his way up.
And just like that, man.
Oh.
Oh no.
Oh man, after fighting his way to the top of Fable Hill.
It's like lighting a firework. It shoots off, and then it just has a little flag that says bang. You conquered the hard obstacle, and you turn around, and you get rolled over in a little bit of a precarious spot there. Or not even a precarious spot, just an unfortunate spot. So that'll be a DNF for Mr. J.
Every time.
The smoke there. When those engines get turned over, oil gets in places where you don't want oil. It just has to be sorted out. Something really cool, one of our younger drivers from the UTV side, Trent Radcliffe, in the Cliffhanger buggy, he actually just ran up here and handed me this really cool Extreme Mud t-shirt. So thank you guys to Radcliffe's for bringing that around for us. We appreciate all that swag, and we love supporting our drivers any way that we can. So we are at VisoneRV CRRS, race number 1, presented by PRP Seats. And we are a little over halfway through our Brannick Motorsports Bouncer Cup. Now, if you see behind me, we have a beautiful race course behind us. It's turned out to be a beautiful day. Partly cloudy with just the right amount of coverage to keep you warm, keep you not too hot. Today's race is brought to you by some of the best manufacturers, the best parts suppliers in the absolute business. I'm going to grab this trophy right here to get our full list. Today's race is brought to you by Yukon Gear and Axle, and I'm excited about that. That's a good move on my end. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Today's race, on hill number 2, we'll have the Yukon Gear and Axle wall in hill number 2. But today's race is also brought to you by Spider Off-Road Performance, Radflow Suspension Technology, Raceline Wheels, CA Technologies, Laser Nut, RCV Performance, VisoneRV.com, PRP, Venom Shifters, Mickey Thompson Wheels and Tires, Speed Strap, Rock Life Off-Road, Wildcat, Adventure Off-Road Park, Poly EFI, and Go Forth Tires. And finally ended up with this Celsius over. Reaching for the trophy. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I think the back of this binder got a little wet. I'm so sorry. My apologies. On horse, we have...
That's it. He's fired.
Yeah. We have Mr. Bubba Bacon. Short work of Fable Hill there. I can't tell you how bad I feel, Bree, about knocking that drink over.
Out the top.
Excellent work by Mr. Bubba Bacon.
65.115.
So I want to remind y'all we're going to take a break after 2 more buggies, and that line's going to get real long.
So we have 2 more buggies lined up for the Brannick Motorsports Bouncer Cup, hill number 1. It's a beautiful day here at Bikini Bottoms Off-Road Park in Dyersburg, Tennessee.
All right. If y'all think this hill can't be crawled, you've been to find out.
On the line,
All right,
Mr.
Matt Holt is on the line.
That's right. He's got the Sticky Mickey Thompson tires there. I'll tell you this, Mr. Matt Holt is changing that obstacle right there. Definitely changed that obstacle for UTVs on hill number 2.
I think he's driving Zach a little bit crazy right now too. Zach's out there trying to tell him where to go.
Oh, that was it.
Oh, come on, man. Come on, man. It's like Joe Biden trying to go upstairs.
I think the way that Zach gauges his response, or whether or not his joke was successful, is if the crowd goes, "Ooh." If that was the case, Zach considers his commentary successful. Matt Holt makes it out the top there, and going to give a really, really strong attempt here on Fable Hill, no doubt.
2 to go.
All right, Matt. Hold it down.
Gonna have to really carry some momentum up this hill. And you can see that front end really bouncing, trying to pull for some traction, but that concrete is slick.
Go, Matt, come on. Smoke those tires.
The only way he's climbing this hill is if his throttle gets stuck. Just my opinion.
It is warming up. I'll have to jump into my RCB t-shirt I've got on underneath here. I've got an old Race to Riches t-shirt. It's got Bubba Bacon on there, Brandon Davis and his UTV. The RCB Performance t-shirts, very underrated.
Come on, Matt. Uh-oh, we've got Bobby going in for a closer look.
Not exactly sure what caused that that little puff of smoke there for sure. But we're getting some further investigation. I can actually hear the recovery team firing up the vehicle.
I see Wade Good up there with a can of fire aid at the ready in his hand too. You guys probably heard us talking earlier about just, you know, huge thank you as always to our official recovery crew, as well as all the drivers and volunteers that are ready and willing to lend a hand at any time. Looks like apparently his transmission ain't transmitting anymore. Word on the street.
Hey, stop key.
All right, guys, I think we've got just a handful of drivers left.
I think we have one more driver.
Is it just one? All right, we got a couple MIAs here.
No, I believe that buggy is potentially broken. That was a little earlier in pre-running. We saw a buggy had an issue with the transfer case, and that was bad influence. Mr. Matt Schussler's buggy. Does not appear that it will be running, but we're not sure exactly who's we have left here. We have one driver left. We've got a couple of names here too that are.
We've got Will Scruggs on the line next. I know. Beyond that, we will see what happens. We'll all find out together.
We got one more on the line.
All right, there you go. We just found out.
We got one more on the line, and then of course we'll wrap up, and then we'll shut down and do the RC stuff, and we'll be back live probably like an hour after we shut down, however long it takes the RC stuff.
Sounds great. So after our last driver, like I said, we're going to cut the live feed. We're going to switch over to our live feed coverage of the RC event. We will not be live for RC today.
We're just going to shut down.
All right, so we're going to take about an hour break, grab some lunch.
That means lunch break for everybody.
That honey-do list that's been waiting, looming over you, you've been putting off, go ahead. You got an hour to get everything wrapped up. Get it done. We'll be back here after this driver runs.
We got one more.
Well, we'll be back in about an hour. I would say probably closer to an hour, 15 and a half or so. And we'll be back racing on Hill 2 for both UTV Bounty and the the Brannick Motorsports.
Yes,
Bouncer
we have
Bounty.
a new title.
New title. Brannick Motorsports joined on board with us today. So thank you guys for your support.
So we'll get Matt Holt off the hill. We still have Will Scruggs on the starting line. And then we will be taking a break. So hang in there for just a little bit longer with us. How's everybody doing today? Is it sunny where you are? Is it warm? Is it a beautiful spring day?
So I can hear in Mr. Holt's buggy, Matt Holt down there, looks like the front drive shaft broke on the transfer case side. I can hear it, it's complaining. It's spinning in there, complaining quite a bit as he's continuing to move.
Judge Matt too heavy. When he went and bought the rattle cans to paint that buggy, they only had that crappy color left.
It looks like you did.
All right, guys, and just one more time, this is the VisoneRV CRRS #1, race #1, third race overall for the season. Yeah, we talked about that a little bit earlier. This is makeup for the crazy ice storms in Texas that caused us to cancel. Oklahoma, of course, in 2 weeks will be our second central race. This weekend is presented by PRP Seats, and you are watching the Branding Motor Sports Bouncer Cup.
Now,
got my words mixed up there.
We've got probably the guy.
You know, if you come up here, you have to come talk to us.
Yeah, he's burned the
That's
most
the rule.
calories today, hands down.
You're gonna work out out there.
Really,
I've just been watching you. That's the entertainment.
Guiding drivers, had to run himself. Mr. Danny Smith. So as of
You just came up to look at your times, didn't you?
You're sitting in 4th place for Hill 1 right now.
Really? I thought the steering wheel coming off way upset that run.
Let me tell you real quickly here. Okay. You guys that are finishing this hill, it's getting faster and faster as time goes on, and you guys are tearing it up. Tell me a little bit about driving on Fable Hill and what happened with your steering wheel.
Well, I left the line, bottomed the rear suspension out straight out of the gate hard. I have a bump stop blowed out from Wildcat that I just happened to forget, until the day before we leave.
Well, you don't remember until you need it.
Whole run was pretty much going smooth. Got hung up on the Fable just a second and come out of the top, come down the hill, set up for the slabs, and when it lands midway up the slabs to come out the next ledge, the steering wheel was against my helmet and my chest, and I was doing this, and I was trying to feather it and hope it would go straight, and if the front tires grabbed the dirt, I could.
Yeah, you're over.
I was going to be over it and try to check up there to get my steering wheel on. It just went left. Bobby's looking at me like right next to me. He's just shaking his head. I was like, "Dadgummit!" It was awful, but I had no idea I was anywhere near 4th place. So
you're doing great right now. You are sitting there with and Bree confirmed my unofficial time here, an 81.06.
There's still enough time for a podium.
I'll tell you this, Hill 2 is going to be a deciding factor.
It could get really bad or really good.
That's right, just depending on how that condition at the bottom of the hill is. And
I think I'm second to run on it.
Okay, well.
Danny, what are your thoughts on, obviously Bikini Bottoms is known for the concrete obstacles out here. A lot of drivers
let it get in their head.
Really don't like it, let's just say.
They lost the race before they left the house.
So what do you think about that wall and the steps and Fable Hill, all the concrete out here?
It's a level of commitment, but it's not just like go crazy, send it, you got to keep it on the ground, but everybody wants to be in the throttle on that ledge, and I think it's all throttle before it and let the momentum carry you over and then get back in it, and that's pretty much how I've always hit it, and it's worked for me.
All right, we've got Will Scruggs out on the course now. He is going to, oh no.
Welcome to the SRS.
What's wrong with him?
Oh no, that's a rough way to start a race.
I'll tell you, that's probably not the run that his neck and back were looking for.
Mine wasn't looking for that bottoming out, I promise you.
Yeah. All right,
thank y'all for interviewing.
We appreciate you coming up here. Good luck on hill number 2. Will Scruggs on course, and I'll be honest, with a really kind of rough start like that hurts.
That's a very rough start.
That hurts the body.
That's a sudden stop.
Yeah, so good to see Will is continuing the run. The motor's in working order. I said it's in working order, and then it cuts off on us here.
This motor's like, nope, not today.
A little bit of whiplash. We joke around about the neck and back and whiplash and all that, but all these drivers are wearing devices, safety devices that keep their head, neck, and all that stuff square and in line. So those Hans devices, they protect it, no whiplash, stuff like that, if any, very, very minimal.
Most of the seats out here, at least a lot of them too, are made with a special a piece that goes on the sides of your head to keep your head from being able to go too far in one direction.
Now,
come on, Will.
Where Matt Holt dug that little obstacle out, it's going to change it quite a bit for UTVs and Hill 2. And we're seeing that right here. You're really going to have to carry some momentum because that is now a dugout lip. Clyde, what do you think about that obstacle changing quite a bit by having those ruts right there? It's got it lit. It is going to be great for round 2.
Come on, Will. There it is.
There you go. Come on.
Sure. Clyde just said, do you see how easy it is? That's right.
Nope. I'm going to need a little more momentum here.
Every bit of speed that we can get.
Oh boy.
Sounds like it's getting a little thunder from down under, and that engine needs to just let it reap it more. Let it sing. For hill number 1.
Yeah, after all the speculation about the rain possibilities today, it has turned into a beautiful day. Out of time.
And we're also getting word that that's radiator fluid coming out of there. And we are done for today with our hill number 1. Will Scruggs will get a DNF for the hill. And Bree, I'm going to do a quick run through our times here.
Maybe he just doesn't know he's done.
Okay. Go ahead and wrap it up. All right. So let me do a quick commercial. That's what that means. All right, quick commercial while I calculate these times.
What you want? No matter where your ride takes you. Whether it's a quick trip or a slow climb. When you choose RCV Performance Axles, you're guaranteed to finish every time.
All right, we are back here for the summation of hill number 1.
Ooh, good word.
Yeah, a little enhanced vocabulary never hurts anybody. So I'm going to do a quick run through the top 10.
Okay.
For all of our drivers. Actually, I'll do 11 because we had 11.
I was saying that's got to be most of them.
Right. So in first place, we have Mr. Tim Cameron with a 56.745. In second place, Larry Krogh, 58.422. Bubba Bacon with a 65. Brandon Davis with a 72. Danny Smith is in 5th place with an 81. Cash LaCroix is in 6th with an 88. In 7th place, we have Mr. John Allen Campbell with a 92. In 8th place, Mr. Jake Pike with a 96. Chris, can you give me that last name one more time?
Chris Winchell.
Chris Winchell. I had that down correctly with a 103. Jess Reed with a 119. Jed Harper with a 122. And that is all of our finishers for hill number 1. A very short list compared to the entire list we have. It's a very exciting day in the Brannick Motorsports Bouncer Cup.
All right, guys, we are going to take a break. We'll be running the RCs, and we'll be back in about an hour and a half, depending on how long that takes, for Hill 2, UTV Bounty, and Brannick Motorsports Bouncer Cup. See you in a little bit.